Hi everyone, thanks for being with me today. I'm going to talk about a subject which is of some concern to me and probably some concern to you as well, and it's in relation to pedophilia and non-government organisations. Now, I need to say at the outset that I've had some experience around working with non-government organisations, particularly one called Anglicare here in Australia, and my experiences with them haven't been all that pleasant. Now, the thing that you need to note about non-government organisations, charity groups, whatever, is that they're no different from any other corporation. Their objective in life is to be able to earn as much money from the government purse as they can and to distribute that primarily amongst their executives in the most affluent way that they can. So this is an example where I think an NGO is doing all that it can to take care of itself under extreme scrutiny. Now, the scrutiny arose because a 45-year-old guy, and I'll talk to you more about that story in just a moment, a couple of weeks ago was charged with 91 counts of sexual assault against children through one of the childcare centres a number of childcare centres actually in which he was working. I've done a post on this previously, and you can refer back to that post if you wish to have a look at what I've said about this particular incident. But someone on my Facebook page, and I'd like to thank Jackie for this, Jackie sent me a post, or posted a post in relation to a Channel 7 report, which was on, what show were they doing? On A Current Affair. And I don't often watch free-to-air because normally I think that most of their programming is shit. But nevertheless, in this particular instance, I do congratulate them for at least, posting this particular story, because it's about a woman who was working in these childcare centres. In fact, I think she was a manager of some of these childcare centres for Uniting Church. And as a result of her involvement, she came across this man, this guy who's been, there are allegations against him for the 91 counts of child sexual abuse. She had reported instances where he had been caught kissing a child. It was investigated and he was returned back to that particular role. Now, she obviously was concerned about this. She did the right thing. She made a report. As a result of that report, they dismissed it and they put this man back in charge of children. Now, this is an embarrassing situation, clearly, for Uniting Church. So the question is, what do you do about this when you have been caught out and you have a whistleblower in your midst who has already informed you that this incident occurred and she had particular concerns around this individual? Well, you attack them. That's as simple as that. And this is what the Uniting Church has done in this instance. They have chosen to attack this woman. Now, my understanding is that she left work under extreme stress and she was placed on leave, and then she contacted Channel 7 to talk to them about her experiences as a whistleblower and what this particularly meant for her. Now, I'm going to go through a little bit of this story with you, and then I'm going to give a take on this that perhaps not many people have offered to this particular point, and certainly Channel 7 haven't offered it. And you tell me what you think in the comments below. So this is the article. So police whistleblower who exposes flaws, childcare abuse case. A whistleblower who exposed flaws in an investigation into the man charged with Australia's worst ever child sex offending has now become the subject of a police raid herself at the behest of her former employer, the Uniting Church. Now, I just need to make the point that this is definitely a bad look for the Uniting Church. I don't understand why it is that they think, for whatever reason, that attacking, vilifying a woman of particularly of the woman of this age, who clearly was trying to do the right thing, why it is they would choose to do so. And I'm going to give a view of that towards the end, to the end of this presentation. So it goes on to say, Yolanda Baruki, 59, was the manager of childcare chain where a former male teacher is now the subject of the largest number of child sex offences in Australian history. 44-year-old man was charged by Australian Federal Police last year with sexually abusing 91 children inside childcare centres across the state over 15 years. She'd lodged a report about the man with the Queensland Police in October 2021 after another staff member allegedly saw him kissing a young girl, as I was talking about. He was cleared by police a month later due to a lack of evidence and returned to work with the kids. Now, I would suggest, even if there's a monicum of assertions or allegations in relation to this man, guilty or not, he should not have been placed back with children. I know that one could argue that it might have been innocent, whatever, but certainly further investigation should have been taken, because at this particular point he'd abused a lot of kids, and there should have been some conversations with parents and others in relation to this. And I can guarantee you, almost, that the church did not do that, and they failed in their duty of care to investigate this further with parents of parents of kids that were attending this childcare centre and other childcare centres in which this man had been working. Because I'm sure that had they done the right thing, this man would probably have been caught much earlier. So where's Uniting Care's duty of care, and how have they failed that in relation to a complete investigation of this particular man, given the current evidence that has surfaced? So that claim was Spart's decision to speak. So the issue was that at a press conference on August the 1st, when details of the alleged abuse were first made public, an AFP officer said they had no information from parents or any other person prior to this man being arrested and charged. This is where she stepped in and said, well, that's not necessarily true, and she chose to speak out about this. We didn't keep quiet. We have been very clear something is wrong, but no one had done anything about it, she told A Current Affair. Now she's become the target of a Queensland police investigation herself, with 4 officers arriving at her Brisbane home on Tuesday to execute a search warrant in relation to allegations of computer hacking. In a video filmed by her husband, the 59-year-old grandparent is invisibly shaking, reading the search warrant details as she was confronted by 4 detectives armed with revolvers and tasers. The fact they're armed with revolvers and tasers is completely irrelevant. I hasten to add, all police have that they weren't there to expecting her to be violent, or that. So, that's just the way it is. She has been on sick leave for several months, suffering anxiety after the stress of having to deal with an alleged pedophile working in one of the centres. Now, my particular issue around this is that if you've got a complaint to make, and you make that complaint in the most appropriate ways, you keep records of your complaint, and you notify the police at the same time. You just don't do that to the whatever complaints authorities are within, say, the Uniting Church. Because if they consider that they have not done their job properly, they will do whatever they can to bury you. I've had first-hand experience of that with another NGO, and I know that that's what they do. They will not take responsibility for any obligation they have in order to care for others when they've been caught out. They will look for someone to blame. And I think that's what they've done in this instance. However, I do need to say that if you do retain information that is confidential, or if you access information that is confidential, then you're looking down the barrel at probably criminal charges. Because now I don't know what this woman did. However, I do suspect that she may have been able to access online information in relation to this particular worker. And if she did that without permission, then I suspect she might be in trouble. Also, if you've got information and you don't wish others to know that information, then don't store it on a computer. In fact, frankly, get rid of the computer, smash it, burn it, get rid of it, because there'll always be ways by which they can access information. If you've got information that you shouldn't have in the first place, then you're probably in trouble if you're caught out. Now, I suspect she was doing what she thought was the right thing, which is her due diligence in finding out more about this particular guy. In doing so, she contravened some security or some of her obligations as a worker for Uniting Church. So Uniting Church came heavily down on her. However, it is worth noting they need not have done that. They need not have called in the police to have her investigated for whatever information that they think she has. There are other ways that one could do that. NGOs and other organisations are terrible at organising themselves around doing what is just simply morally and ethically right. And she probably could not have found herself in this situation. As a result of also going to a current affair, this particular woman has found herself in further trouble. Now, I would imagine that Uniting Church weren't all that happy that she was dobbing on them and that she was saying things about Uniting Care which implicated them in their inability to be able to manage this situation. So they became punitive towards her, which is what these organisations do. So they decided that even though she was on leave because of anxiety and stress, they chose, the day after she went to a current affair, they chose to sack her. Ostensibly, I would imagine a good woman got caught up in something which she was concerned about, but which at the end of the day, she probably could have managed a little bit differently than what she did. And as a result of that, she has lost her job. I think it's criminal what Uniting Church have done. I think that we need to be more mindful of the fact that there are procedures. Now, one of the things I think that she could have done, which was to have protected herself by going and having a chat to a lawyer about what it is that was appropriate for her in order to protect herself against whatever information she may have gathered illegally or not. So let me know what you think. Make a comment down below. And if you'd like to contribute to any of the conversations that I have here, please let me know also in the comments below, or and subscribe to my channel, or you can contact me as well on my email address, which I'll put below. Thanks everybody for being with me. Take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.